I am Mr. Morning. This is Sports Radio 66, WFAN in New York. WFAN News is sponsored by New York Telephone Business Products. Good morning, Charles McCord.
Good morning, Donald. 40 degrees at 6:31. Showers today, the high 48. Rain redeveloping after midnight tonight. Temperatures will be in the upper 40s overnight. Tomorrow, periods of rain ending by afternoon, quite mild, up to 55. The Allied bombardment of Iraq is continuing despite hopes that a Soviet peace proposal might end the Gulf War somehow. Baghdad is under clouds of black smoke this morning after another night of heavy air raids on the Iraqi capital. An Associated Press reporter in Baghdad says red and white anti-aircraft fire illuminated the sky last night and early today. So far, no word on casualties or damage. In neighboring Iran, the newspaper is reporting that more than 20,000 Iraqis have been killed in the first 4 weeks of the war. The paper says a senior Iraqi official told the Iranians 60,000 Iraqis had been wounded. Also in Iran, the man carrying a Soviet peace proposal is meeting with Iran's president. Iraqi Foreign Minister Tariq Aziz spent the night in Tehran after leaving a Moscow meeting where Soviet President Gorbachev offered what could be the last alternative to a ground war. An aide to Gorbachev has told a European radio network that Aziz told the Soviet president Iraq is ready to withdraw from Kuwait. Very little, though, is actually known about what the proposal entails. We have more on that story from correspondent Steve Porter.
Gorbachev has held the proposal and his discussion with Aziz very close to his chest. He wouldn't discuss it at all with the president on the telephone and wound up sending a secure letter by cable, which was delivered to the Oval Office as the president arrived back at the White House. He immediately called in his National Security Council for a lengthy meeting, and in the middle of it, his spokesman released a statement saying Bush appreciated receiving the letter, but that Gorbachev's request that it be kept confidential would be honored. How long, we don't know. Steve Porter, NBC Radio News, the White House.
The timing for a ground war and the Soviet proposal are likely to be discussed at today's meeting between President Bush and the congressional leadership. The president will also give Congress the bill for the Gulf War today. We have more about that now from Leslie Sawyer.
Congress isn't expected to put up a fight about the $56 billion bill, which the president could present as early as today. The measure will cover the extra salary costs for troops and the replenishment of used weapons in the war with Iraq, now in its second month. Some officials add the proposal is expected to include funds for up to 500 Patriot missiles, which have been used to shoot down Iraqi Scud missiles, and about 400 Tomahawk missiles, long-range weapons that have been fired at land targets by U.S. warships. Top Defense Department officials are scheduled to answer questions about the war effort today before a House subcommittee on defense appropriations. Leslie Sawyer, Washington.
Despite the scope of the Allied bombing campaign over the past month, the commander of Iraq's elite Republican Guard reportedly is saying morale is high and losses low. Here's correspondent Jim Muir.
General Khalifa said that his units had been bombed for more than a month by the world's most modern aircraft using the most up-to-date technology and weaponry. The Allies, he said, imagined that they had inflicted tens of thousands of casualties among his troops. But in fact, he said, they had not suffered heavy losses commensurate with the magnitude of the airstrikes.
The two U.S. warships that were damaged by mines in the Persian Gulf yesterday are both operational today. 7 sailors, 4 on the helicopter landing ship USS Tripoli and 3 on the Aegis guided missile cruiser USS Princeton, were injured in that mine explosion. And locally, striking pressmen's union leaders this morning are tight-lipped about a tentative proposal. The Daily News presented them last night. Management has not made public the details of the proposal, and Jack Kennedy, who heads the pressmen's union, has also not given his reaction to it. Management and labor remained at the Waldorf until the early hours today, trying to work out their differences. Meanwhile, the board of the newspaper's parent company, the Tribune Company of Chicago, is scheduled to meet there today.